Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. And in today's video, I want to rank all of Wes Anderson's movies. I started doing this recently, going through different directors, all their movies, their whole filmography, and rank all the movies that they have directed. I've done George Lucas and Steven Spielberg. So let's check out Wes Anderson, who has 11 movies to his name, and see who rises to the top here on Jason the Old Millennial. Hello everybody, I hope everybody's doing well here on a Thursday night. I come back to you with another ranking of a director that I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of, but I do like some of his movies. I would say his top 5 are really good movies I would highly recommend. His bottom are really bad though. I would say he's a bit hit or miss for me. And we do have a Wes Anderson movie coming out this year, which I forget the name of the movie. I've seen a trailer for it a couple of times. So far, the trailer looks pretty funny. It looks pretty quirky. I like some of the cast, like Michael Cera looks really funny in it. Anyway, so I'm hoping for another good one because I feel like we haven't had a really good Wes Anderson movie since Grand Budapest Hotel. I think it's the last really good Wes Anderson movie that we've gotten. So it'd be nice to get another one. I like his style at times. Like he has this very, of course, quirky comedy style to him. It's hard. It's his characters are kind of deadpan and, you know, look in the camera almost like, you know, type humor, but somehow he finds humor in all the quirkiness of the characters. And he likes to have lots of characters, a big cast. Really, he's really good at casting really great actors that work in his style. Obviously, like Bill Murray's worked with him quite a bit. Jason Schwartzman, maybe the most, has worked just about every movie. Anyway, so it's always cool to see what he's got going out. I will definitely check out the next movie because it looks intriguing enough, even though I haven't liked the last couple of movies that he's done. Anyway, so I also love his visual style. He has a really cool visual style. He has these like bright like colors. Like he'll have I remember Moonrise Kingdom, he has like a house and has a bright yellow refrigerator. The refrigerator is bright yellow. I've never seen a bright yellow refrigerator before, but he has a lot of that kind of visual style that really kind of catches your eye going, wow, that's an interesting color scheme that he puts together. Anyways, so let's get through all 11. What do I think his 11 movies rank for me? So let's go with number 11. It is going to be actually his debut movie, Bottle Rocket. Number 11. This is by far the worst movie, I would say. I'd say by far. It's terrible. It's the last one I actually got to see. I finally got around to seeing it. Very first movie he did with Owen Wilson, Luke Wilson, kind of the main leads here. Owen Wilson, another person he works with quite a bit on his movies. And from what I did research, he I think went to school with Owen Wilson, and Owen Wilson actually wanted to be a writer. He didn't really want to be a professional actor. I've heard him in interviews and stuff like that saying like he always wanted to be a writer, and he did some acting as well, but he also thought he might go and be like a lawyer or something like that. I can't remember if the whole movie business didn't work out for him. But anyways, or the writing, I think he more wanted to write screenplays and stuff. But anyway, so him and Wes Anderson became friends, like I think college, and they started writing together, and they wrote this short story, Bottle Rocket, together. And Wes Anderson wanted Owen Wilson to play like the lead, and again, Owen Wilson wasn't thinking himself as a lead actor, but he agreed to do it. So they did the short film. It did well enough that it got they got some money to make a full-length feature film, Bottle Rocket, and Owen Wilson got his younger brother Luke Wilson to join in the movie as well, which is cool that they're two brothers that have both been pretty successful in Hollywood. Anyways, this is a movie that definitely, I didn't write down what time these movies came out, but this movie definitely, I don't remember this being on the radar at all. Like a movie that came out in the theaters or anything. It was such a small budget, like indie movie. And I don't even understand how they got the money to make the movie or got distribution that a movie company like was able to, make it. It's just crazy. And the whole movie is Owen Wilson and Luke Wilson. I don't think they play brothers in the movie. I'm trying to remember. But one of them's like almost like a mental institution, and Owen Wilson like breaks him out. and they're gonna rob someplace anyways, and he puts a crew together, and it's all about them going to rob this place. I can't remember now exact details. And anyways, it is a really boring movie. It doesn't really have the quirkiness of Wes Anderson would get in his later movies. I feel like he quite hasn't gotten there. You don't really get the Wes Anderson style with this because it's such a, I suppose it's because it's such a low budget movie, but yeah, not funny at all. The whole story is not interesting. It is by far the worst thing that he did. I can't believe this did well enough for him to make another movie. Like, if I saw this movie, I'd be like, this guy, I wouldn't give him any money to make another movie. But I'm glad they did, because he does make some good movies. So I guess somebody saw something in him, and he was able to make more movies. But yeah, Ball Rocker at number 11. Number 10, I got Asteroid City, which is his last movie. So his first movie and his last movie he made are his two worst movies for me. Asteroid City is again, it's just so weird and quirky that it doesn't work. Sometimes it works. This one doesn't work, and it's so weird and confused. It's a very confusing movie, to be honest. I don't even understand exactly what was going on. We do bring Tom Hanks for the first time to a Wes Anderson movie, but he wasn't really used that well. All it has to do, they're like in this city. I don't know if they're in Las Vegas or something, and I can't remember exactly the details. It's such a bad movie, and there's so many things that happen that I just don't understand. I can't. It's hard for me to even talk about this movie, but there's one point where they gather around, and an alien comes down. An alien, actually, a really badly CGI alien comes down. Anyways, and they see this alien or something. They goes back up or something. I can't remember exactly what happens with that. But there's all these different characters. Scarlett Johansson's in there, I believe. And Jason Schwartzman, of course. Um, and then there's a other part that I don't understand. I can't even. It's hard for me to even talk about what happens in the movie. It just makes no sense. Anyway, that's why it's number 10, because it's just one of the weirdest, confusing movies I've ever seen, where I didn't understand what was going on, what the plot was. I can't even tell you what the plot is. It was just so confusing. Anyway, so that's Asteroid City at number 10. I don't have a lot to say, except it was just, I didn't get it. Number 9, I have The French Dispatch, which is, I think, the second last movie he did. The last two movies have been horrible. That's why I got them both here at the bottom, which sucks, because he had a really pretty good run there. And then these French Dispatch, another one, was just a little too quirky for my taste. It's like, you can be quirky, but this like went too far in the quirkiness. And it's a weird premise for a movie, because it's really like a bunch of short stories put together. And it's all about this newspaper called the French Dispatch, which in the movie takes place in a fictional place in Kansas, or it might be a city, it might be a town in Kansas, but it's not, depicted realistically. But anyway, so for some reason, there's a newspaper in Kansas who writes stories about French life. That doesn't make any sense. So there's little like short stories, basically, of like vignettes, whatever you say, of different characters, and it plays out, and then they stop that story, and then they start a new story. And there's maybe 4 or 5 stories, but there's really like 3 major stories. And the only story that really worked for me was the first one, I believe it was, or second one, with Benicio del Toro as this painter. He's in prison, I think, and Adrian Brody, I think, is in it maybe, and they're trying to buy this painting from him. That had some, okay stuff in it. And then there's one with the writer, I think, and then there's one about communism or something. I don't know. The other 2 stories just weren't funny. They weren't interesting. Again, just so quirky that it took me out of it. It's like, you can go Wes Anderson, but sometimes we go full Wes Anderson, it's too much. Like, Wes Anderson needs to just, I don't know how he needs. There's a kind of formula that works for me, and then sometimes it's just too much. But yeah, French Dispatch did not work for me. That's at number 9. Number 8, I got Rushmore, which Rushmore is actually a very popular movie of his, I guess. This was like a second movie. This was a movie that really put his name on the map, where people started paying attention to Wes Anderson. And I remember when it came out, and again, yeah, it did look very quirky, and I didn't see it for the longest time. It was one of the last movies I actually got around to seeing. And I remember at the time when it came out, there was pretty good praise. It was Jason Schwartzman's like first movie, and he was praised for his part playing the main character. Bill Murray was given a lot of praise. I remember people saying Bill Murray should be nominated for Best Supporting Actor, which I don't get at all. I don't think it was that great performance by him. And the whole movie is just this kid who's very weird. He's at like this kind of prestigious, I think, high school. And his name's Rushmore. His last name is Rushmore, I believe. And he has the hots for this teacher, this English teacher or something like that. And he's trying to figure out how to go on a date with her, basically. So it's very creepy. I mean, kind of supposed to be a teenage boy trying to, make it with his, older, I say older, like, still a teacher, so an adult, so it's obviously unethical, whole thing. And she has like a boyfriend, I think Owen Wilson maybe was a boyfriend or something. And also Bill Murray is like the father of another student, and he's also has the hots for the teacher and is trying to date her. I don't know. And Jason Schwartzman's like, or the Rushmore character is like jealous or something. That's the whole story. It's not really that good of a story. Again, not that funny. Don't really get the hype for this one for me. The only interesting thing is that the guy, like Rushmore, likes to write plays, but they're like these very dark plays, like about Vietnam and stuff like that. And that part was kind of funny. But anyways, most part, yeah, it was a miss for me. Rushmore, number 8. Number 7 is The Life Aquatic of Steve Zissou. This is another one which I just didn't work for me, and I remember when it came out, I was kind of excited for it, but I didn't see it in theater. I think I saw it later on TV, and I like that you got. This is the only one that really has Bill Murray as like the lead here, and he plays this character Steve Zissou, who is a ocean explorer or whatever, and he has like a boat, submarine boat thing, and his guy that he was worked with for a long time gets killed by this animal. It's like a whale, but it's not a whale, but something like a whale. And so at the beginning of the movie, he says, he's going to track down this animal and kill it to get revenge. So it's almost like a Moby Dick type story. And you got him, you got his whole crew there, and good cast. I mean, I like Willem Dafoe is really good in here. Owen Wilson ends up being like his son that he never knew he had, and he joins him. And so they go on this adventure, and there's this other, I want to say Jeff Goldblum plays like a villain or something. And anyways, and they eventually do find the animal, if I remember right. I don't remember exactly what happens at the end, but it was very not funny. Like, I remember just being cringy, not funny, like watching this going, oh man, these jokes just aren't working. It was definitely a big miss. Another one of those where I don't know why. Again, I'll get to some good movies here, but just these bottom ones, just, I don't know, the type of humor didn't work for some reason with the story. Anyways, yeah, but not much to say there. But anyways, that's The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou at number 7. Number 6, I have a movie that I thought was okay. I don't hate it as much as the other bottom ones, but number 6, I have The Isle of Dogs. This is his second stop motion animation style after Fantastic Mr. Fox. And again, the weird part of this movie is like there's 2 different parts of the movie. There's the part where it's the dogs and they're on this island. All the dogs, I think, in the whole movie takes place like in Japan or something like that. It's in Asia, and I forget, there's some reason they take all the dogs and they put them on an island. And this one kid, misses his dog, and he goes to find the island to find his dog that the government took from him, I guess. And so there's this whole part about the Japanese, it's I think it's Japanese. It's all or it's Japan, I think. I think all the dialogue's in Japanese, so it's subtitled. So I was really disappointed when I remember watching it going, oh my gosh, it's like a foreign film, like there's subtitles. Like, this is weird. And so it deals with all this like kind of politics of like Japan or something, if I remember right. And dealing with that part I didn't care for, and it really kind of brought the movie down. But the part about the dogs actually was very good. There's a whole part where you kind of see what the dogs are dealing with. They're marooned on this island, and it has kind of like this, own rules, where there's rival dogs and stuff like that, and they fight over food and stuff. And I think George Clooney maybe plays like the lead, or maybe it was George Clooney. I can't remember, somebody. And that part is really good. I think the dialogue is actually pretty funny. The whole story of the dogs is actually really good. Like, the whole movie was that. I think this would have been a much better movie. But then when you had to go back and forth between that and the humans, The humans were boring, didn't care about that story, but did like the dogs in it. So it's, to me, just a okay movie. And that's why I put it here at number 6, right? Pretty much right in the middle of my ranking. Now, my top 5 I really like. Number 5, I have the Darjeeling Limited. This is another one that I didn't see till recently. I remember when it came out, but I just never had interest in it for some reason, and always like thought about, oh, I need to see that movie, and just never got around to it. And not till this last year, or whatever, I finally got around to like, oh, I need to watch this movie. And I didn't really think it was. I didn't really have expectations that it was going to be that good either. I don't remember anybody talking about it that much. But I really liked this movie. It really surprised me. It was way better than I thought it was, and a lot of it's because the three main actors were so good together. Adrian Brody, Owen Wilson, and Jason Schwartzman play three brothers, and they're traveling to India, kind of like on a vacation. But then you find out that Owen Wilson's character is trying to got the two brothers to come with them because they're going to go find their mom, because evidently their dad died. Their mom just skedaddled to India and became like a Hindu, and they haven't seen her for a while or something like that. And they're also dealing with they're still kind of dealing with their dad's death, which really was hard on them. And they're kind of strange. They haven't been, as brothers, they haven't been very close since their dad's death. So this is one where I thought the humor worked very well between the three characters. I thought I had three distinct personalities, and the three actors did such a good job here. And you had this whole journey through India, which was very interesting. Lots of random things happen that they have to deal with. But then at the end, you kind of get also this very emotional moment of the brothers kind of still dealing with their dad's death and their mom leaving, and them, as brothers. So there's actually some very good story moments and emotional moments within the brothers that really brought me to really put this movie up this high, to go, yeah, this is definitely one I would definitely wouldn't mind getting, and I would highly recommend this to anybody. If you haven't seen any Wes Anderson, definitely check this one out. I think it's actually really, really kind of a sleeper hit to me, or sleeper, like, really good movie. Number 4, I have The Fantastic Mr. Fox. This is his first of his two kind of stop motion animation. Of course, Fantastic Mr. Fox, I think, was like a Roald Dahl story or something like that, which I didn't know that much about. But here we kind of take this main Fox, the Fantastic Mr. Fox character, played by George Clooney, very well, really well voice casted. And he's like, you kind of at the beginning, you see that he's kind of this wild fox who loves adventure, and he loves to steal food from the farmers, and they're going after him, and he loves this whole. But then his girlfriend or wife, whatever, Fox, is pregnant, and once she's pregnant, he has to stop and become like become domesticated, dad, and he has a son, and and he has to have like a regular job, but he kind of misses the adventure that he used to have. That's kind of like the story behind it. Overall, really well done stop motion animation that really brought out the quirkiness of Wes Anderson very well. It's very fascinating how he able to still get that really good Wes Anderson quirkiness in this animated movie. Very funny movie, I thought, story wise. It did very well. Love the cast of characters here, are really good. Different animal characters played by really good actors all throughout. One of my favorite parts is they don't curse in the movie. They can't, because it's more of a, I guess, this is maybe the only non-rated R movie that he has that kids can actually watch. And so he doesn't ever curse anything. Instead of cursing, they say cuss. So instead of saying what the, F, they say what the cuss. And I don't know why. I thought that was brilliant. It was hilarious because they keep going, hey, you cussing at me? You cussing at me? that's how they talk. Yeah, it was very funny. Again, very good. Of course, Wes Anderson, again, so well with dialogue, like this movie. Not every movie, but some of these movies, man, dialogue is just so funny, and the characters are so funny, the way they were written. Really well done here. Fantastic Mr. Fox, definitely one of the highlights for me, for him. And I remember the first time seeing it and just being like, wow, this is way better than I expected. All right, top 3. Number 3, this is the first movie I ever saw from Wes Anderson, and that is The Royal Tenenbaums. And this was introduced to me by my older sister, actually. I remember I was visiting her and her husband at her house, and she's like, "Oh, you need to check this movie out, The Royal Tenenbaums." I guess she saw it and she really liked it. And I was like, "Yeah, I've heard of Wes Anderson. I've heard The Royal Tenenbaums." You know, by this point, Rushmore was already out. I don't know if the Life Aquatic Sees Zazu. I don't know if that was out yet, but that might have been around that time that I saw the movie. Anyways, but yeah, I was like, okay, I'll try this, comedy out. And man, it was so funny. It really like opened my eyes. Of course, a new director, Wes Anderson. I'm going, wow, I'm interested in more in what this guy does. It definitely was a movie that really, it was the first movie, but it was also a movie that really hooked me into Wes Anderson to where I watch all his movies, even if they're bad, I'll watch them just because you never know. He can come out with a real hidden gem kind of movie. You never know by him. But anyways, yeah, Royal Tenenbaums. Again, what a cast. I mean, here you got Gene Hackman, probably his last great role. Not his last role, but one of his last roles. And he's great as the main character. And the Tenenbaums is his last name. And man, he's really a jerk, really unlikable character, but also he can be funny. And Gene Hackman did so well. I really like that. Again, it's his kids, and he tells his family that he's dying, but he's not dying. But he tells them that so that because his ex-wife is getting remarried, who's played by Jocko Houston, I think, and she's getting married to Danny Glover or something like that. And so he's trying to stop the wedding or something like that by saying that he's dying. So she won't get married. It'll delay the marriage or something. I don't know. It's a really despicable thing that he does, but he lets on to his kids and everything. But his kids are played by Ben Stiller, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Luke Wilson, I think, are his three kids. And they all got, especially Gwyneth Paltrow, man, again, they do these very good, just deadpan, very serious looking, very weird characters, and the way they deliver the lines somehow works that way. No one's trying to be funny, it feels like, but yet, because of the characters, they end up being very funny. But yeah, I like that, Paltrow's very, very quirky, very dark. She's very like dark and almost gothic type. Luke Wilson, he actually is in love because I think he's adopted or something like that. But I think he's in love with Gwyneth Paltrow or something like that, if I remember right. Anyways, there's a whole storyline there. Then Ben Stiller, he has like two sons of his own, but he's overbearing because his wife died, and so he's too overbearing of his sons. Anyway, so there's a whole really interesting story there. Like I said, Owen Wilson appears in the movie as well. Bill Murray also appears in the movie, who I think is married to Gwyneth Paltrow or something like that. Anyways, great cast. Just a lot of fun quirkiness there. Gene Hackman, I like when he takes the two grandsons out and like shows them how, to be a little more adventurous and to live life, and even against his dad's wishes. And actually ends more emotional than you would think, because you hate this character so much. But then at the end, you kind of feel for him and for this family and all they've gone through, and you actually end up really liking these Tenenbaums anyways. And yeah, it's definitely gotta check Royal Tenenbaums out if you haven't seen it. It's definitely one of his best. Number 2, I had the Grand Budapest Hotel. This is his most successful movie, I would say, that he has, and definitely is worth a watch because of that. It was nominated for Best Picture. He was nominated for Best Director for this movie. I think, I don't know if he won like 3 or 4 Oscars. I can't remember exactly what he won it for. I think he might have won for set design because the set design's really good. Costuming, he probably got nominated, maybe won. I think his score, Alexander Desplat won Best Score. No acting nominations, but I think it got a lot of technical award nominations and some wins there. So really, really, highly regarded, reviewed. A lot of people consider this like one of the best movies of the last, 20 years or whatever, 10 years, 15 years that came out. But yeah, it is really good. Again, it's got that great quirkiness of him. And you got Ray Fiennes in one of his funniest roles I've ever seen. Ray Fiennes, who plays kind of the maitre d', not maitre d', but the concierge, whatever you call it, like kind of like the manager of this fake hotel that doesn't exist, but the Grand Budapest Hotel. Again, the color scheme is so good. Again, the costuming, the colors of the hotel. The hotel itself is probably why I think he won, or at least was nominated for best set direction, or whatever, art direction. Very well done. and all that. And you got him, and he's training this new page boy, bellboy, whatever you want to call it. Like, so there's kind of two main characters that you see. But Ray Fiennes is absolutely hilarious. He's definitely got the best lines and the best part of the movie. But you got this whole thing where he gets framed and gets put to jail. And Adrian Brody is kind of the villain. Also, Willem Dafoe is also kind of his henchman. And so they're trying to break Ray Fiennes out of jail, and they're trying to find this will, I think, of this widow that died or something like that. Anyways, so this whole thing, it's kind of a mystery kind of reveal, and the breakout scene of the prison is really funny, really well done. Again, dialogue is so good in this movie. It's one of the best that he's done, I think, dialogue wise. And yeah, got the great cameos in it as well, and a great final. Oh, also Saoirse Ronan, if I'm saying it right, Saoirse Ronan, really good in this movie too. And there's a good actually love story in there between the page boy, which I can't remember his name, but him and Saoirse Ronan have this great kind of love story as well that works. And the ending is really good. Like, it's got a really good climatic ending, like what's going to happen, and all that. So yeah, definitely check out the Grand Budapest Hotel. Was nominated for Best Picture for a good reason. Definitely a crowd pleaser. But my number one favorite Wes Anderson movie goes to Moonrise Kingdom. Yeah, I really had a blast with this movie. This is one I remember coming out, but didn't see in theater. And I don't think I saw any of these in theater, to be honest. I think every single movie I saw, yeah, not in theater. Funny enough, I don't know why I haven't gone out to see this, but Moonrise Kingdom was one, I think, after I saw Royal Tenenbaums and Fantastic Mr. Fox, I think, and I was kind of becoming a fan of Wes Anderson. And I think this one came out around there. And yeah, absolutely loved it. This is another one I think I might have saw with my sister even. I think my older sister showed me it, or I saw it with her. And yeah, it's an interesting story. It's kind of these two kids, kind of almost young, very young teenage kids, almost preteen kids. One of the main boy is like adopted, but he's got some weird quirkiness to him, I guess, and he doesn't get along with his family. And he's like in the Boy Scouts. And anyways, he falls in love with this girl who has a family, but she like feels alone in her family, so she has her own issues going with it. And so these two kids kind of fall in love. And I kind of know, I love the innocence of the love that these two kids have, not really understanding what love is, or, what it entails, but yet somehow them two together make life, better for the two. I guess they both have kind of, not happy lives, childhoods, and so they find love within each other because they both kind of feel the same way, and so they run off together. They kind of take some stuff and they run off, and so the parents are trying to figure out, well, not the adopted parents don't really care, but the parents of her really care. And Bruce Willis, really good. Bruce Willis plays like the sheriff or something in town, if I remember right. A really good role for Bruce Willis. He's kind of trying to find these kids. Anyways, through this, and you got somebody like Jason Schwartzman, Edward Norton appears in here, very funny performance by him. Frances McDormand's in here. Yeah, another absolutely amazing cast. Again, yeah, I don't know how to say it. It's just, I thought it was really funny, and I really love the core story of the two kids. I say kids, like these preteen kids. And you kind of get what they're, they kind of want away from the world. The world's, they want to get away because the adults are not doing a very good job, and so they're like, we've had it, we're just going to be on our own, even though they don't know how to be on their own, but they're going to try to make it on their own. And there's something, I don't know, I really enjoyed about that whole storyline. And it ends very happy, though. It has a very good, happy ending. I think Tilda Swinton also shows up in the movie. I can't say what happens, but I really enjoyed the ending of it. So many great moments. Again, I love the whole style. Like I said, there's one kitchen is all yellow, including the refrigerator. I was like, I love it. I love when they pick these really weird color styles that go well together, or kind of catch your eye and go, okay, that's an interesting idea, or interesting, I've never seen before. Yeah, and I don't know, I just enjoyed the characters and all that. And yeah, I would highly recommend Moonrise Kingdom. Obviously, my top five. I would say definitely check these 5 out if you haven't checked Wes Anderson. In my opinion, those are 5 really good movies from Wes Anderson. And I'm still quite interested in his next movie. Hopefully that's another really good one. Because it feels like he's not that prolific. He only has 11 movies. And his first movie was probably in the 90s. So I feel like, I might be wrong, but like in 30 years, he's only made like 11 movies. So not too prolific, but hopefully, you know, each one, you know, definitely takes time to make. And he definitely puts a lot of love into it, I guess. And he puts everything into it because he writes and directs all his movies. Anyway, so they're just very much Wes Anderson. Like anytime you see a Wes Anderson movie, you know it's Wes Anderson. It's like you can't go, oh, I wonder who directed this. No, as soon as you see the style, you go, oh yeah, that's Wes Anderson. Except for the Ball Rocket, I think it's the only movie that doesn't really have the Wes Anderson touch to it. But anyways, that's my 11, or that's how I ranked the 11 movies of Wes Anderson. Please feel free to comment, what is your favorite Wes Anderson movie, or how would you rank the 11 movies? Love to see your list. Besides that, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for liking it. And thank you to all my subscribers for supporting the channel. I appreciate you all and I hope you have a good day.